Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. We move into the 16th of July in the year of 1983 in World Class, and a relatively notable show for a couple of reasons here. But if you haven't already joined us, this is like the 70th episode of World Class. We're going through things episodically. We encourage you to join us and do all that good stuff. But we're going to get through everything eventually, but we're soldiering along here. We open with Johnny Mantell versus Rip Rogers. Rogers having a decent showing for himself last week, I believe, with Chris Adams. But Rogers having another decent showing here. Again, a guy that I don't think has gotten nearly enough credit for his contributions to the sport as a competitor. Obviously, well regarded as trainer, but Rogers, in his deep purple tights, has a good technical match with Mantell here, and it's clear to see that he is adept at selling. Mantell, who usually is a mat wrestler anyway, works very well off of Rogers, who is adept at selling holds and making holds work and look phenomenally well. If you are a wrestler and you are not familiar with the work of Rip Rogers, certainly go out of your way to check him out. Criminally, too little footage exists of him, but I mean, they basically get several minutes out of working the armbar and wrist locks and the like. Mantell does eventually gain a victory here. They're given about 7 minutes or so, and it's clear that during that time, when Rogers takes over, he takes over using cheating maneuvers and the like, but he certainly does take over from time to time. Mantell, something as simple as the way they hold on to the arm on an Irish whip, meaning not letting it go and having a guy run across the ring willy-nilly, is just simple stuff that does count in the long run that people forget to do in current matches today. Vicious looking clothesline by Mantell before picking up the victory not too terribly long later, and it's clear that he, uses every move to his advantage. Russian leg sweep into a float over is how he gains that victory. Buddy Roberts out next, discussing Iceman King Parsons and the loss of the hair match. He says he did not lose and he did not cheat and he did not do anything bad. He is wearing goofy headgear of the martial arts, what you'd send your kids to spar in type headgear, maybe a boxing style headgear for those interested, and a very pronounced toupee, weave toupee sort of thing. And that is kind of the way things go. He is considerably upset and saying that he did not cheat along the way. We see the Mongol and Buddy Roberts versus Iceman King Parsons and Bruiser Brody. Not quite sure why we see this match unless it might have been taped before the Tag Team Championship win, because it doesn't make sense for Brody not to be teaming with his Tag Team Championship partner. Unless the goal is to get Brody into a situation where he looks more menacing than normal. Needless to say, the Mongol and Parsons are brawling with each other, but this cannot be taped before because the headgear and the toupee is on Mantell. So Buddy certainly wants to get a victory back any way he can. They brawl back and forth, do Iceman King Parsons and Buddy for the majority of the match. Brody almost again, I don't want to say an afterthought, but not the main focus of the match here. He does go toe-to-toe with the Mongol, and his brawling style is noticed. Mongol able to rake the eyes of Brody and bring him down. There is a good bit of advice given on the outside by Skandor Akbar to the Mongol. Brody stomps around like he means business at all times, and I think there's something lost in that process too, especially with bigger guys. Looking like they mean business, looking like they mean to do harm. Obviously, a big deal then and should be now, but sometimes get lost in translation, I think. Of course, a lot less bigger guys now than there were in 1983, too. That doesn't help the situation. And I love all forms of wrestling, but certainly the loss of bigger talents that are athletic is notable in 2020. Um, we do see the attempted removal of the headgear by Parsons. Parsons, of course, later in the program, I'll just kind of tie the angle together. And Parsons puts a $500 bounty on the value of the headgear. We do see that there is, in fact, a win for Brody and and uh, and Parsons. Um, Post match, the brawl continues. Jimmy Garvin addresses the David Von Erich situation, says that this is a conspiracy against him. He should not have to do anything he doesn't want to do. He's not going to lose the match or do anything of the sort, and he is not going to be a servant to anybody. He's not going to do that. It's a conspiracy against him. That's not what he does. That's not who he is, and he will refuse to do that. Then we see Kevin Von Erich and gorgeous Jimmy Garvin out there. Garvin, of course, in the blue sequined jacket, and Von Erich is, the series of matches between the Von Erichs and Garvin, whether it be David or Kevin, is notable. Another good match. Kevin, of course, probably the quickest of the Von Erichs, although can do wrestling on the mat, as we see Kevin with serious um, wrestling ability. Keeps the chin lock going and the back headlock and all that. Garvin works over the arm for several minutes, trying to get the advantage for himself, and that does not go the way he intends. He also is in the clutches of a head scissors for quite a few minutes, as the match kind of is a little more slow and plodding, but you begin to notice that with Jimmy Garvin matches. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but several minutes are gotten just out of cranking on a head scissors, and I don't think you'd see that today. Certainly, it's a different style. Garvin, though, when he does bring a man to his feet, is known to brawl, known to pull out all the stops, metaphorically and physically. And Kevin is willing to do whatever it takes to get the victory, and does so. A kind of a victory roll style roll up with the victory for Kevin. And again, as mentioned, Buddy Roberts closes the show saying that there should not be a bounty on his actual hair, even though everybody can see it's a hairpiece. And the great thing about being a heel is that you can lie and get away with it. In any event, that will close us for the week of the 16th of July, and we'll be back with more. Probably get through at least part of August today, but I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.